Hey everyone, welcome back. It is Vortie here, and as you guys can see here, I actually ended up beating the Beast of the Dark, the Elite version. Um, so, I guess we're going to talk about it a little bit. I'll show you how I beat it, and then later on I will make a guide on it. Essentially what it is right now, I think really the only time you really need to do anything different right now is if you want to actually get the Trust Moogle. At this point, I'm not really 100% interested in the Trust Moogle, so I'm not going to try for it right away. I did do the 5-man and the full party clear. So I can show you guys how I did that. And then from there on, it's going to be one of those things where we're going to try and build strategies on how to beat it with like a free-to-play party. Because obviously this method that I'm going to be doing requires you to have at least one Orlandu. If you have 2 Orlandus, then you can pretty much duo this. Pretty much, and the reason I'm saying it's pretty much is you need to bring a Dispeller to make it a little bit easier, but if you bring 4 characters for sure, it's so easy. And the only trick right now with your Orlandus is that the Orlandus you have to have at least around like 800-ish attack. Most people are saying around 850. If you bring like an 800 attack Orlandu that has you know, like some killer effects, then you're gonna make this a lot easier. So let me show you my party, what I'm bringing. So I'm gonna bring my Orlandu, which is my big boy Orlandu, and then I'm gonna bring my secondary Orlandu for chaining. Then I'm bringing Ling, and I'm bringing Refia. So I'm gonna show you their gear real quick. Obviously, this is not a guide for ways for you to beat it, unless you already have at least one Orlandu that's around 800 plus attack, and you can get a friend Orlandu that has 800 plus attack. Then you can do this method, and it's a pretty easy clear. So I'm just gonna show you the gear here. It doesn't really matter what she's wearing. She's still wearing the same gear from the Ifrit raid, because I haven't really had to use her. Nothing special here, just stuff I was using to make sure she survives. Ling, nothing special. This is what I had. Same thing for Ifrit. Same thing with the gear. Nothing special here. Then Orlandu. So this one's wearing Sakura Fubuki in his right hand, and his left hand is using his chaining item, which is Excalibur, Dark Helm, Demon Mail, Champion's Belt. He's wearing Ifrit's Claw right now, but before this he was wearing just some random crap. Alright, and then his materia here, you got Dual Wield, Successor, Blade Mastery, and then I put Poach on here so that he gets that Beast Killer and that Avian Killer. So Avian is for Siren and Beast is for Ifrit. And then my second Ifrit right now, he is packing Genji Blade in his right hand. Left hand, he's carrying the Excalibur Blade for chaining. Black Cowl, Monster Best Blade. So he's pretty much getting the best gear I got and the best materia I got for him. So he's got Blade Mastery, which boosts his attack when equipped with the katana, and then also when he's got the same thing but for the great sword by 50%. He's looking at quick assault 30% and then attack 30%. This I'm actually just gonna, well, actually doesn't even matter, and I'll tell you why, because they never attack, so it doesn't matter. This is the party I went and did a single clear once, and I got everything. So what you've seen so far is I've pretty much only fought it once, so I'm hoping this doesn't backfire, because the first time I did it, it was pretty straightforward. So yeah, invoke Siren and Ifrit, which means you're gonna prolong the fight. It's definitely doable. You gotta pick who you want to fight really, and then just sit there and kind of melee them. It's easier to do with like a free-to-play party, I would say, this one, than these other ones. Siren's robe. Well, I have that now, I suppose. So you got Himachi up there. Let's see if there's any other ones. I'll try to get it as close to. So that's pretty good though. So people are recommending him to be around 850. So this guy's pretty much up there, 850. So we'll bring him. And I have 3 Orlandus, so I mean it's pretty much a guarantee get-go. So I'm going to equip here. She's wearing 45, 35, 35. Actually, I think this is better than the other robe. Oh, I actually haven't picked that up yet. Ha! I haven't picked it up. No big deal. So that's the team we're bringing. The friend unit we're bringing, he's packing Genji Blade, Deathbringer, which is actually not very good. So we're actually not going to bring him because they're immune to that. So Himachi, you're a troll. I think that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to troll people into picking you. So please just have Excalibur. Or okay, that'll do. He's got Durandal, that's fine. So we'll bring this guy's 817. And yep, so Beast Killer. Yeah, that's perfect. That'll do. I don't need the second Orlando to have anything like my chaining Orlando, because he's just there to start the chain, and even the friend I'm bringing along, they're just there to make sure the chain maintains. I'm going to be using my Orlando to pretty much do all the hard work. So what I'm going to do first round here is I'm going to dispel Ifrit. I'm going to pick on Ifrit first. So the reason why I'm picking on Ifrit first is because if I kill Siren first, he will buff himself up again, attack and defense and all that shenanigans. Plus he'll heal himself to full life. So I'm not worried about anything right now because they're not going to attack. However, if I kill Siren first, sorry, that's why if I kill Siren first, then he'll buff himself again, and I'll have to debuff him again. But if I kill Ifrit first, she buffs herself with like attack and magic, which is completely irrelevant. But in my case, it really doesn't matter because I'm going to be dispelling them completely, individually. So I'm going to prepare Faint Step here. I'm actually going to go here, and that's why Refia is here. Refia is here just as a dispel, nothing else. So dispel. The other method I was actually going to do, and I'm actually going to make a video on doing it because it's actually really funny. I'm going to use, once my Zon is maxed out, I'm going to use Zon instead of Refia. I'm going to bring Zon, and in this phase, this part here, he's actually going to steal the buffs and buff my whole party. Okay? So essentially what you want to do is, if you have like a character like Ling, and if you have Bushido Freedom, what you can do is round 1, right before anything starts, you have a unit that'll do Bushido Freedom on your party to get that dark resistance and all those debuffs off you, and then use Zon to buff your party by taking these buffs off of them. Alright, so we're gonna use Refia. So there goes the spell. And we're just gonna break them both. Okay, and that's it. That's the fight. So from this point on, it's just if you can get a chain of 20 something plus, then it's pretty much a done deal. So Ifrit's dead this round. Next round, she's going to buff herself and heal herself to full. So there she goes, Dark Grip is passed. She's gonna heal herself and buff herself up. And we're gonna do the same thing. Right? There's no point to even bother, it's just the same thing. Dispel. And then just break her again. And then chain. So I know originally I was saying like, yeah, it's not going to be possible, because when I tried it originally, I didn't debuff them. I just attempted it like as it was, and it was a bad idea. You really want to debuff them. If you don't debuff them, they take about like 30% less damage, like overall all your damage, right? So 30% of your overall damage. When you debuff them like this, they literally just fall. So if you have an Orlando, at least one, and you have a friend Orlando, this event is going to be very easy for you. If you do not have Orlando or any of those things, this is going to be a little bit more complicated. All right. So the thing about this event is it's very designed about control. Okay, and you're gonna pick. Do you want to deal with an annoying mechanic that Siren has, where she will steal your MP over and over and over again every turn, or do you want a unit that's gonna hit hard? So personally, I think killing Siren first, if you're going to be doing the actual strategy, is a better alternative, especially if you have a good healer and a good tank, and they're geared well. Originally, when I did it, I actually brought my whole party. I'll show you the setup I actually brought. So this is the party setup I brought. This was actually... Odin was on him, and this was Noctis. So I actually ended up bringing Noctis, and I geared Noctis to be, I think I bumped him off completely. So for Noctis, what I did was I actually geared him to be an evasion style tank. Even though they do magic, I figured I'm like, you know what, if I kill Siren first, then I can somewhat evade tank the physical portions of Ifrit. So like do bar fire, and then do that, and then I'll have to eat some. I think I passed them. Whatever. You guys know what Noctis looks like. I don't have to go find and click on him. But I was going to use him to kind of avoid that, and then use Carbuncle's Bar Fire to buff everyone so they cover fire, and then I'll take the dark damage as is. And then if that didn't work, I was going to just wait and level up Minfilia and Zon, and then go from there. But I think Zon is going to be a pivotal point here for us as global players. He's going to help you guys out a lot, especially if you have him maxed out. If you don't, you should get him, because his component of stealing debuffs and dispelling them off the enemy is, in my opinion, a broken mechanic right now. And for those of you guys who might be struggling on other events like Gilgamesh and stuff like that, this is your chance to steal that like 300% buff, which you could never get right now. I don't even think Japanese players can get anything like that. You dispel it and put it on your whole party. So get him. If you have him, max him out, because he's going to be a staple unit for defeating events a lot easier. And like I said, mine's almost maxed out. The second he's maxed out, I will be able to do that for you guys, and I will bring him along and show you how much easier it makes it. Technically, well, no, I wouldn't be able to. If you had 4 Orlandos, you could technically end the event in 1 turn, and it with Zon. So, and you can bring a buffer too. So you can bring Refia to do Embolden to buff your party, so you do more damage. You could bring Zon to do a Dispel plus buff additional if you needed it, or you can just bring Zon by himself, and then the 2 Orlandos per boss, and you're done. So that's kind of the mechanic. But anyways, this isn't a guide. I'm just kind of telling you about the event. I'm not even jumping into the heavy stuff into the event right now, because there's no point. When I do the using actual units to beat this event, then I will actually go over all the components, what we need to avoid, what you want to go over, and stuff like that. So that should be sometime in the coming weeks, because this is an event that's going to stay here forever. And in the meantime, I'm actually going to be coming up with a video probably tomorrow that you guys will see. But I don't know if you guys remember, for those of you that have been around for a while, I was actually in a position where I was going to sell my house. I actually put it up for sale and blah blah blah, and then I ended up moving out of my house for about a week, and I was staying with my parents. Well, actually our house actually sold during those 5 days I was gone, and actually I'm moving out of my house, and I'm going to be living with my parents. I know, eh? Living with your parents for about 5 months. So there's going to be a few days of like this weird transition where I'm moving all my stuff there, and setting up my computers and stuff like that for recording. So once I am there, that's kind of why a lot of the things I kind of planned have been put on hold, because I'm in the process of packing up and moving and all that stuff, and I'm just making sure I have enough content to provide videos so that you guys have something to watch. But once I move in, then I'm going to get back onto those things. I have my legacy series, where it's like I pick a character and I kind of talk about them. It's about like, it was like 30 minutes, but I'm actually going to cut it down and make it into like a 20-minute video, and it's going to be like a little 20-minute episode where I talk about that character. So I'm going to be returning the legacy series that's going to be coming out, and that's going to be my way of doing unit spotlights. So I've seen lots of other people do like unit spotlights where they just talk about the unit and like how they benefit Final Fantasy Breakfast. But if it comes from a different game, I will talk about their history. Like there'll be like a 5 minutes where I talk about their history, then there's going to be like a component where we talk about what they look like and stuff like that, and how they transformed over the years, if they've made multiple versions of the game. And then we'll talk about how, like, when they entered Final Fantasy Breakfast, what they look like, what they know, their abilities, and then possible equipment. And then I'm probably gonna give them like a ranking of where I see them now and in the future after they get their enhancements. So it's gonna be really, really cool. If you want to, you can actually see I made one legacy episode, and it was on Noctis. You can go take a look at that video if you really wanted to. But it's gonna be something like that, but it's gonna be more structured, and it's going to be set up in like smaller segments, like 5-minute chunks of area. So it's not going to be fully scripted, but it'll be like I said, structured. There's going to be little pieces that we're going to hit, and they're going to be like in like 5 to 7 minute chunks. All right, so look forward to that definitely. But yeah, this is kind of the guide as it is right now. If you do have Orlando, then it's going to be a little bit easier for you to kind of clean this shop up. If you don't, then just hang on. I will be coming out with a guide on how to defeat this guy the free-to-play way. And to be completely honest, I'm going to tell you guys right now, I'm going to be using Zon. Zon is, I can't say that he's a free-to-play unit, because some people are getting him on their daily, some aren't. But I think he's going to be a staple unit for this. And essentially the way the party is looking at is what you're seeing here right now is almost what's going to be brought. Probably not going to bring Orlando. I'm going to probably bring a different damage dealer instead. But Menphilia for sure. I might bring your Stola as my healer instead of Refia. Ling, I'm not sure about yet. Noctis. So these two for sure. These two units for sure. and then we're gonna see what we're gonna do with it, with everything else. I want to try and make it as free to play as possible, so that there is no doubt that if I do beat it, then we got this. You guys can do it as well. All right. So thank you so much for sticking around. If you did enjoy the video and just kind of seeing how the fight goes down, then please hit that like button and definitely subscribe if you're new. Again, this was not a guide. It's just me showing you that I actually have beat it, which shouldn't be a surprise because of the units I have, but I just want to show you guys I did beat it. Thank you so much for sticking around. I will see you guys in the upcoming videos. I'm out of here. Peace!